Hello, everyone. Welcome back to NowDivas ServiceNow Discovery Series. I am Salva Arun, and today we are diving into Kubernetes discovery, one of the most important discovery types in modern cloud native environments. So, what we will cover today in this video, you will learn what Kubernetes is and why organizations uses it, and how to set up a Google Kubernetes Engine cluster, and how to configure ServiceNow to discover Kubernetes components, understanding serverless or a pattern-based discovery, and fourth, troubleshooting common issues like SSL certificate errors. So in this part, before we jump into configuration, let me explain what Kubernetes actually is. Think of it this way. So traditional infrastructure, you have 100 applications, you need 100 separate virtual machines or servers. Each server runs just one application, and this is expensive and wasteful. So with Kubernetes, you have maybe 10 to 20 powerful servers, and Kubernetes runs on these servers, and your 100 applications run as containers managed by Kubernetes. So Kubernetes decides which server runs which application. Much more efficient use of resources. So let me give you a real world example. So think of it like an apartment building. So without Kubernetes, 100 people and 100 separate houses. So with Kubernetes, 100 people living in a 120-story apartment building. The building is nothing but the Kubernetes cluster, has a floors, which is nothing but nodes, and with the apartments are called pods, where the residents or the containers live. So much more efficient. And apologies if I am pronouncing the Kubernetes incorrectly. So what ServiceNow discovers? So ServiceNow discovers the entire system, which is nothing but the Kubernetes cluster, the nodes, the physical or a virtual servers running Kubernetes, the pods, the running applications or the containers, the services, how applications communicate, and the deployments like configuration of applications and the namespaces or the organizational unit. So in this part, we will be talking about a Google Kubernetes Engine. There are a lot of Kubernetes available, but we will be talking about the Google Kubernetes Engine. So this is the console, the one you can see it. So I am actually using the Google Kubernetes Engine because it is a free. They give you a $300 credit for new accounts and easy to set up, and creates a publicly accessible cluster and perfect for demonstration. And the same configuration works for production environments. So there are a few steps to be followed for setting up this GKE, which is nothing but a Google Kubernetes Engine. So first, we need to enable the Kubernetes Engine API in Google Cloud. So this is, if you have any doubts of how to set it up, you can go to this Google Cloud and then you go ahead and create an account. And from there, you click on a Google Kubernetes, and then, create a Kubernetes cluster, and then you click on the console button. There is the one I'm highlighting here. Just click on it and you get this terminal. So this is the command which you need to type in order to create a API in a Google Cloud. And I will be pasting all the information in the description box below. And we can see that I have already created the cluster already, so but I'm just showing you how to create it again. So next we need to create a cluster. So now let's create a small Kubernetes cluster. So I'm using a single node cluster to stay within the free tier limits, and this is the command for that. So once you do that, you can just go ahead and hit enter. So let's see what's the error. So as you can see, it's throwing an error saying that it's already exists because I've already created it, as I mentioned. So typically this takes around 3 to 5 minutes to create. While it's creating, notice the master IP. This is the public endpoint our ServiceNow mid server will connect to. And in the step 3, we will be connecting to the cluster, and this is the what do you tell, the commands to use, and it is fetching all the information. As you can see, this has been generated, and we are going to deploy a demo application for that. And for that, I have this commands which I will be implementing it, sorry, running it. As I mentioned earlier, the setup is already done, but I'm just doing it for the for you guys if you want to go through it or if you want to set it up. So the first, we will be creating a namespace for our NowDiva demo, and then we will be deploying the Nginx web servers, and then we will be deploying the Apache API service, and we will be verifying the pods are actually running. So it's already throwing an error as expected. So, but we can see that an output, it is saying that we have 4 pods running with the 2 Nginx web servers and 2 Apache API web servers. So there is an error, please ignore it, and I will paste the details so you can set it up if you want to discover it. So in the part 3, we will be talking about the ServiceNow authentication setup. So we will be understanding about the bearer token authentication. So Kubernetes uses bearer token authentication. Unlike the traditional SSH or WMI discovery, the Kubernetes discovery is a serverless or a pattern-based. It uses a REST API calls instead of network scanning. So in order to set it up, we need to create a service accounts in Kubernetes. I have already created one for the demo, and this is how you have to create it. I'm going to paste that. So this is the command which you will be using to create the SVC account. And once you create this, there will be a token which is valid for for this demo. So after that, once it is created, please copy the entire token because we will need it in ServiceNow. And notice it starts with EYJ. This is JWT, which is nothing but the JSON web token. So let me see. I think I've already created it. Once I run this. Okay, so this is the token. So it is going to expire in few minutes. Sorry, I think it expires in 48 hours. So I need the token here. So I am going to copy that token. So the one I was talking about is EYG is nothing but the JSON web token. Okay, I'm going to leave the token here, and we need to get the API endpoint as well. So I am going to, it's already running as expected. You can see the HTTPS here. This is the HTTPS endpoint. Just copy that endpoint. And this is the public IP address where our mid server will connect. So the SVC account is set up, is already set up. So we will be going to our ServiceNow instance because we need to create the credential. So I have already created the credential. So I'm going to show you how to create it. So come here, search credential. Alea. So you can see under the connections and credentials, there is credentials. Please click on it and just click on a new credential, and then please select basic OAuth. I think it's a basic OAuth. I'm sorry. Let me just confirm it. So this is the GKE. So I have selected the Kubernetes. I'm sorry. So you need to select the type as Kubernetes. It's so slow. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's do a reverse engineering here before we create a credential. Let's go to the credential alias first. Let's create the credential alias. So let me click on that connection and credential alias. So I'm going to click on new, and you can give whatever the name you want here, and then you can create it. But let me show you the one which I have created. So you will have to create something similar to it. So this is the name which I have given, the GKE NowDivas alias, and the scope. And okay, let me show you guys how this actually looks like. So this is the how it looks like. You can give any name you want, and you can give the scope, and the type should be a credential. Once it is done, just go ahead and click on click on save. And once it is saved, you need to create a credential. So you can just click on new and come here. You need to select the Kubernetes credentials and give your name and the username, or the whatever the username which you are using to log into that Kubernetes. And here, just select the bearer token and then type whatever the token you have copied from there. So I've already created one, so I am going to change the bearer token here. Let me get the bearer token. Let me copy it, and I'm going to update it. So our setup is done from the connections and the credential perspective. So if and also there is something important to note, and if your instance has a bearer token authentication checkbox, then check it and paste the token in the bearer token field instead. So the method I'm showing works for all the versions. The next is we need to create a discovery schedule. So come here, come to the discovery schedule. I believe most of you know how to create it. Just click on the new, and I'm going to show you guys what I have created it. So let me open that, and you can see the discover. So the type of discovery is used the serverless. So this is very important. It should be a serverless, and select the mid server, and also click on active, and you can set everything and just click on save. And once you save it, you will get this button called serverless execution pattern. So here you need to link, you need to create or add the Kubernetes discovery pattern, and then you need to link your credential here. So let me show you guys how to do it. Let me go ahead here, click on new, and then I am going to give some name because I've already created it, and I'm going to click on serverless, and I am going to select my mid server, and I'm going to save this. And here you can give the credential alias too. So in our case, this is the credential alias, so I'm going to save this here. And once I save it, so you can see that serverless execution pattern, there is a tab. Just click on new, and you can give any name here, and you can just select the what is that? I'm sorry, the pattern. I think the one we want is the get Kubernetes. Yeah, this is the one, I believe, get Kubernetes pattern, and then just click on save. And also you can see the cloud type and the credential ID and the client account ID. So you need to fill in all these parameters here. So you need to give, I think this is not the correct one. I'm sorry, let me go back to my discovery schedule. Let me see what I have actually selected. Yeah, sorry. Okay, let me open this. So I have selected the pattern as the Kubernetes. I'm sorry, the one we selected previously was a get cluster, but we are going to discover the entire Kubernetes, and it should be, the pattern should be Kubernetes. Select the Kubernetes, and you need to fill in all these parameters, and you have to get this information from your Google Cloud. And this is our cluster, and this is our namespace, and this is the provider, server and also the URL. You remember the URL, whatever the mid server is actually trying to connect, and you can give the credential alias name. And then you can click on save, and then our discovery schedule is completed. So if you want to know more information about this Kubernetes, how to discover it, you can go to the product documentation page and you will get all the information. So our thing is done here. So the next, and it is a very important thing where we need to install the SSL certificates on your mid server. This is the very important part. If you do not install the SSL certificates, it would be throwing an error. So like a TLS handshake, there was an error during the TLS handshake. In order to avoid it, you need to install the SSL certificate. I don't know if I have that error showing up because I've already created the I've already implemented the SSL certificates. Let me see if I can see that error now. I do not see that error, but there is a detailed article which I have created for the error. So why it is important. So I will be linking that article in the description box below. Please click on it and it will take you to the ServiceNow community page, and it contains all the information. So I'm going to show you guys how to download and also import the certificate for the TLS SSL cert. So you need to go to our mid server and then run this PowerShell command. So I will be leaving this as well in the description box below. So basically you will be downloading the certificate from that Kubernetes, or sorry, from the Google Cloud, and then you will be implementing it because this is very important for the TLS SSL handshake. And once this is done, please restart your mid server after importing the certificate. So after the certificate is installed, it's our time to run this schedule. So let's come here to the schedule, and I'm going to click on Discover Now. So as you can see, it's starting and it is active. You can see it has already launched a pattern called a Kubernetes pattern, because if you remember, we had selected this particular Kubernetes pattern to be launched for this particular discovery. So it's active and it takes a while for it to run. So there is a delay, and the mid server is making a REST API calls to Kubernetes API at HTTPS 34.170.241.185/443, authenticating with our bearer token and retrieving the information about all the Kubernetes resources. Let me refresh it, and as you can see, it is completed. Let's see. So as you can see, it has it has discovered the Kubernetes cluster and it has updated the CI. So as you can see, the discovery log, and it has successfully explored the pattern. So let's go ahead and open this CI. Let's see what was discovered. So you can see it has discovered the cluster, the nodes, the pods, the services, the Docker images, the deployments, the daemon sets, the namespaces, the Docker containers, the clusters, the Linux server, the pod, and most of the things, whatever I explained in the beginning of this video. So notice how ServiceNow automatically creates relationships between the cluster to node, nodes to pods, pods to containers, and services to pod, which is amazing, right? So here are a few common issues which you need to look out for when you are implementing this Kubernetes discovery. So sometimes it will fail. The discovery will fail due to a SSL certificate error. You will see like fail to invoke the HTTPS call or SSL error. So for that, you need to download and import the clusters SSL certificates into mid-service Java key store, the one I just showed earlier, and then restart the mid-server and run the discovery again. And also sometimes the authentication may fail, and verify the bearer token is correct and hasn't expired, and check that service account as a proper permissions, which is nothing but a view cluster role. But there are certain API permissions which are required, and it is available on the product documentation page. You can take a look at it. And also third, ensure the credential alias is correctly linked. And the fourth is like a no data discovered. Like if a discovery completes but finds nothing, then check the namespace parameters includes your namespaces. Verify the mid server can actually reach to Kubernetes API URL and review the pattern execution log for errors. This is where it fails. It will tell like fail to discover this pattern. So just come here to go to the Kubernetes, the pattern logs and try to debug it and see what is happening. And also it can fail due to the network connectivity issue. Always test the connectivity from your mid server using your PowerShell, and you can use this command. Let me show you what is that command you can use. Use this test connection, your computer name and the IP address and the port number 443, and this should show like TCP test succeeded as true. So let's conclude this video, and today we covered what Kubernetes is and why it matters, setting up a GKE cluster with a demo applications and configuring ServiceNow credentials and the discovery and handling the SSL certificates for secure connections, and also running discovery and viewing the results in the CMDB and troubleshooting the common issues. Remember, the same configuration works for production Kubernetes clusters as well, whether it is the Amazon EKS uses the AWS CLI to get the token, the Azure AKS uses the Azure CLI to get token, and on-premise Kubernetes which generates a token the same way. Then the OpenShift, the similar process with the OpenShift tokens. The only difference is how you obtain the bearer token and the API endpoints. So in our next video, we will cover the application dependency mapping and also the service mapping using the Kubernetes data we just discovered. And also I will be talking about the cloud discovery in the next video. So if you found this video helpful, please like this video, subscribe to NowDivas, and comment below with the questions and share it with your ServiceNow team. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.